Hey, everybody. I'm Leonard Jacobs, Interim Executive Director of the Jamaica Center for Arts and Learning. I'd like to welcome you to Building Equity Through Art, Pulling from the Past to Shape Our Future. This is the culminating event of the first year of JCAL's Building Equity for Immigrant, Indigenous, and Native American Artists program. It's a pilot project funded through New York Community Trust. And we would first like to thank the Trust for its very generous support of this program. It is a 2-year program, so it will continue. In addition, I'd like to thank the Core Council. This is a group of 9 artists and arts administrators who have conceived, developed, and produced all 9 events that you're going to see during this festival. And most remarkably, they have done it in the midst of COVID, and they've done an amazing job. And on behalf of all of us, staff and board at JCAL, we really want to thank every member of the Core Council for their work and their perseverance. Last little bit of business. You may have noticed that JCAL is running a fundraiser. If you look just below, you can see a link. This fundraiser is to raise funds for our Black History Month programming coming up in February. Our interim artistic director, Courtney French, has programmed February with 7 events, I believe. If you click on the link, you can read more about them. We are more than halfway toward our goal. 100% of your donations go to the artists that are involved in these programs, not for admin. And we'd ask for your support. If you have any questions about anything, please always feel free to reach out to me directly. I'm at leonard@jcal.org. And now I'd like to pass it off to our interim artistic director, the visionary Mr. Courtney French.
I'm Courtney French, Interim Artistic Director for the Jamaica Center for Arts and Learning. Welcome. Welcome to our presentation. We would like to thank you and your family for joining us today. Enjoy the program.
All right. Mabuika, bienvenidos. Welcome to the Syncretism of Boricua tradition with its distinguished custodians. My name's Roberto Múkaro Borrero. I'm a cacique of the Guainía Taino community, the president of the United Confederation of Taino People, and as well as an artist and historian. And it's really an honor for me to be here this evening with all of you on this Building Equity program, part of the Building Equity Festival that you just heard about in that intro in the beginning. And I'm going to be the facilitator for tonight's program. I'll do this introduction and then we'll go right to our distinguished guest. We have 2 other greatly distinguished speakers in the in the cultural tradition of bomba. So bomba has its roots in the beginning of the late 16th and early 17th century. Bomba is one of the most traditional cultural expressions of Puerto Rico or Boriquén, and it's one of the foremost musical genres that we have today that demonstrates the cultural influences from the indigenous Taino people, the African, and the Spaniards. So right now I'm going to introduce our 2 distinguished speakers. The first one is Don Angel Reyes Romero. Now he began his musical career on the drum set and Latin percussion and later joined the pioneer bomba group Teatro Otra Cosa under the direction of Don Felix Romero. And in 1975, he was part of the groundbreaking Bomba Sinfónica, featuring the drumming of bomba and a Western classical music ensemble in New York, which included Cheo Feliciano. He was a disciple of bomba patriarch Don Rafael Cepeda. And in Puerto Rico, he performed and toured as a principal member of La Familia Cepeda, Los Hermanos Ayala, Paracumbe, and he's also collaborated with the renowned William Cepeda's Afro-Boricua group, which features prominent figures such as Angel Luis Torrielas, and Don Angel has been equally stellar bomba dancer and a drumming artist, as well as a lecturer and teacher. In addition to being a maestro, he has numerous recordings and other talents such as professional photography, videography. He's a cultural researcher. He holds a master's degree in cultural studies, in Puerto Rican bomba traditions. This includes cultural arts, education, teaching music, history, and dancing. He writes extensively, and right now he's working on a video documentary that focuses on bomba and these traditions. So it's such an honor to be with him this evening. Our other distinguished speaker who will be coming on, both of them will be coming on shortly, is Felix Romero. But Don Felix has been in the entertainment industry for over 50 years. He's considered a bomba master and one of the major authorities on bomba and plena music and dance. He was a director of the oldest bomba and plena dance company in the US, and that's Teatro Otra Cosa, the Bombazo Dance Theater. And the company has been in existence for over 40 years. He's also an accredited photographer. He's accredited in film, TV. He's a theater producer, director, writer, composer. He's a published poet, a dancer, an actor, a musician. He's recorded and toured as a rapper named Jovan from 1990 to 1992. So Mr. Romero, Don Romero, Don Felix has not been limited to the performance aspects of the entertainment industry, but he's also a staunch activist for the rights of artistic expression, as well as the human and civil rights of the Latino community. He was the first Hispanic consultant to the Connecticut Commission on Arts, New York State Council on the Arts, and he sat on the committee to select qualified musician for the New York State Division on the Arts. He's currently the vice president of the board of directors of the Latino Leadership Alliance of Bucks County in Pennsylvania, and he's also producing a documentary on the takeover of the 1975 Ostos Community College in the Bronx that helped save the college from closing. So this documentary will be called Ostos, the Struggle, the Victory. So with that, we're going to go right into our first video clip. Then we'll come back with Don Angel, and he'll take you through a few of the other clips, and he'll explain more as we go on. So please enjoy Figurando la Bomba, the history view of Bomba.
A continuación, le presentaremos las diferentes maneras de figurear dentro del baile de bomba.
Para Guayanilla, para el café de tu familia, te va a buscar la casa. Ay, con la gente la rayita, porque te consiente la sonrisa, ay, cuídame a ver el mamá. Ay, que no te vaya a apasionar. Con la gente de Adiós mis ojitos, pues ve la hacienda molía otra vez. Adiós mis ojitos, adiós mis ojitos, adiós mis ojitos, pues ve la hacienda molía otra vez. Ya la hacienda grande no quiere moler, por esos ojitos y sabes que la hacienda molía, pues ve. Adiós mis ojitos, adiós mis ojitos, adiós mis ojitos.
Okay, I hope you enjoy that. There was different styles of dancing there, but as I have learned from many of the elders, talking about figuriando, which is a certain style where most of the dancing you saw there was working around that. We'll be getting more into the dancing in a bit. I have learned by interviewing elders, experts, and holders of knowledge that they held a standard of rigor. It wasn't just anybody, just like that. And commitment to the learning of bomba with the utmost respect. Here you are seeing the late Dominguito Negron, one of the biggest dancing in the whole island of Puerto Rico, in Borinquen. And he even came out in a song with La Lupe, you know, where they mentioned it. And from Brazil, they came to see him. Okay, the next picture. I felt the need to learn about the history of bomba in order to become proficient at performing it, and as part of my formation. Here, the first group I formed, Aguaybana, back in 1985, I was a member of La Familia Cepeda at that time with Don Rafael. And I used to sit down with him many hours, practically 3 to 5 times a week. And then finally, after over 3 years with the group, I asked him if he could give me his blessings and permission to start group so I could start teaching youngsters in the community, being that there was mainly just Familia Cepeda and Los Ayalas, and very few groups, and not too many people were learning. So I wanted to start, and he did. Him and Jesus Cepeda helped me, guided me until I was able to form that group. And from Aguaybana, many of the people that are up ahead right now have come out of that group. Here we have a gathering of elders at the Bombazo. Okay, this was in Guayama, the southern style. Okay, and so through all this, I set out to learn all that I could to have a good foundation. I then had an insatiable desire to learn more about the origins of this genre. Knowing and learning from these elders, I was able to find more and more interest and wanted to go on and on. Here you see both of them figuriando. And this is in Guayama. That's the style. I knew he wanted that because I saw him dancing, and he's one of the ones that has told me. In Azul, in the south, we dance with the drum laid down because you feel the vibrations. So when he was dancing in front of me, I laid it down. That's why you see that big smile in his face. Okay, All right, let's go to the next video. It has to do with the workshops and the making of the instruments that is comprised in the bomba.
El quinto, el seguidor. La bomba van con la canción. Y el bombero y el que está bailando, si sabe bailar, mejor todavía con el bombero. Pero la bomba. Cosa que tú vayas a comprar. ¿Sabes? Sí.
Ese es Mariandá.
¿Y qué? Eso es un lugar. Sí.
¿Cuál es el yuba? ¿El yuba cuál es?
Los instrumentos de la bomba. Bueno, los instrumentos de la bomba son en el área sur. Se usan dos barriles. Es el burriador y el requinto. En el área sur se toca, no que se tocaba, se toca con los músicos ahorcados encima de ellos. Ellos se trepan encima de ellos para poder tocar los tambores. Se usan dos palos que se dan por nombre los cuas. Esos cuas se tocan atrás del seguidor, el burleador. Se toca. Ahora no, ahora la gente pues usa una cajita, hace una cosa bonita. Entonces al darle con los cuas atrás, pues ya tú estás dañando la pintura que se le da. Y pues se usa ahora pues la cajita, una cajita o algo en que tú le puedas dar. Y la maraca, acá en Ponce, que es tocada por una dama. Tiene requinto, tiene subidor, tiene seguidor, el primo. Sí, pero casi siempre se le da más el requinto y el seguidor. El buleador, subidor, requinto, buleador. Nos dan unos como 3 o 4 nombres, sí.
De la bomba, ¿siempre ha sido 2, 3, 4 barriles?
No, 2 barriles.
2 barriles es lo de costumbre.
2 barriles de costumbre. Y con 3 pues ya hay la variación que está, pero 4 barriles o 5 ya es un ritmo exagerado. Sí. Que yo estuve con ellos en Loíza, tenían 3, 4 barriles. Y el ritmo es... Y el que llevaba ese ritmo, otro llevaba ese, otro llevaba eso y el quinto nada más.
Okay. Entonces sí se conoce buleador, subidor. Hay otros nombres alrededor de la isla, sea del pueblo que sea.
Buleador y seguidor.
Seguidor, subidor.
Y subidor. El yugar, yo lo toco así. No, yo lo doy así solo. Más fácil, ese holandés.
Adiós bandera española.
Adiós que me voy.
Adiós que me voy.
Adiós que me voy.
Si te vas para Eloíta.
Adiós que me voy.
Ay, si te vas para Río Piedra.
Adiós que me voy.
Adiós que me voy.
Adiós que me voy.
Adiós bandera española.
Adiós que me voy.
Yes, I hope you enjoyed that one as well. As you can see, the instruments for bomba includes one maraca, played by the lead vocalist in the majority of the times, and 2 barrel drums made out of reconfigured drum barrel. Along with these 2 drums, quite indispensable are the 2 sticks called was. Okay, which you're going to be learning a bit more on that today, which are used to play a rhythmic pattern over the wood of the second barrel. drum called the segundo o buleador. Here you are seeing, in this picture, you are seeing the making of the drum and the instruments. And the red ones you are looking at right now are from Miguel Flores. They used to be from the Familia Archival from Ponce, and they were given to La Familia de Miguel Flores in Guayama Arroyo. Okay, and they're over 100 years old, over 100 years old. So they've seen quite a bit, and that's the way they play, like you see me on the right-hand side, sitting on top of the drums. Okay, the first drum is known as primo, premier, in English, and it's tuned to a higher tone than el segundo. In Loíza, they have the carnival, and so much in Loíza as well as in Ponce, they have the vejigantes, which are personalities, you know, that they use in the carnivals. And then in Loíza, they also use the caballero. They have a whole big story on that with La Loca and all. Well, but this bomba is present on each. It's the main focal music in there. And although initially many more rhythms were used, the primary four that have been carried forward over the years include Sika, Cuembé, Yuba, and Holandés, as you were hearing. The next video, please. Oh, Múkaro, is anything you would like to add to that as well?
Yeah, definitely. Don Angel, thank you so much for sharing all this. I mean, I think what's really important is that oftentimes in these discussions about bomba, we see it primarily described as an Afro-Boricua tradition. But I think that it's important to note here, and I did say this in the beginning, but there's really a syncretism, a coming together of cultures in this music. And although we have these early evidence of bomba in the 16th century, you have to remember that those people who were working in the sugarcane fields and who were enslaved on the island at that time, a majority of them, yes, were African, all right, coming from Africa. But there was also many Tainos, indigenous people in there as well. And so, you know, you see that influence of the people coming together by the use of the maraca and also the kwa, the sticks, right? You know, the Taino word for a digging stick is called koa, right? It's very, very similar. It still describes the name of that stick. But yeah, I just wanted to add that in there just to say that, you know, I think that it's almost misleading to just say that it's an Afro-Boricua tradition, because you really see the influences of all three main cultures in there.
And there's another instrument that is going to be showing up on the next video. Okay, there we can observe the kwas. Could you tell us a little there?
Yeah, and what you could see here, very similar to the way the kwa is used. We have this drum. Here's a picture of me playing it and practicing with some people, some Taino drumming using the mayowakan, right? And the other instrument that I wanted to mention is one that we call the guaje. And I think that's really important because often people see mainly the four instruments that you mentioned. Very few people these days talk about the use of the guaje, and you also know the guaje as guiro, guicharo. You know, that's another thing. Could you maybe affirm that for us? What did the elders tell you about the use of the guaje in the original bomba?
Okay, way back in the southern part, Ponce, there was a man, he had it on his hand throughout the whole interview. You know, once I get that out, I'll be letting you know about that. But they did mention, and there's quite a few, even in New York right now, I know with Amamoyo, they use the guiro because he has found out that they used the guiro, the guaje, with the bomba way back in those early times. So, you know, just like today, they're starting to use little drums and different things instead of the barril. It's been changing. So from the guaje, it started more maraca, and that was probably, you know, shouted out. But definitely, I am conscious about that. And it was beautiful to learn the actual name of it. Thank you, Múkaro.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're ready for the next video then. Okay.
Ven, ven, baila bomba, bomba de la buena comay, bomba de la buena comay, bomba de la buena comay.
Ven, ven, baila bombo, bomba de la buena.
Bomba de la buena comay, bomba de la buena comay.
Ven, ven, baila bombo, bomba de la buena.
Ay, Dios,
Rivera Negrón,
¿Y usted? Julián Cepero González.
nieto de Dominguito Negrón. Bueno, sí, lo único que había aquí en Cataño era la bomba. Teníamos blancos y prietos. Que eso no era, que uno no, iban toditos allá.
Ellos usaban un pañuelo, ¿verdad? Y cuando sacaban a bailar la pareja, no la tocaban con las manos ni nada. Les tendían el pañuelo y entonces pues, uno cogía la puntita del pañuelo y entonces pues empezábamos a bailar. Pero él no hacía contacto de manos ni nada con la pareja. Solamente a través del pañuelo era que él contactaba a la pareja.
La pareja pide al tocador.
Pide el tocador.
Tú
Sí.
sabes, la pareja tira paso igual que el bailador.
Sí.
El bailador tira paso para que el tocador repique los pasos que le está tirando. Se supone que sea el bailador, casi siempre el bailador que pica adelante. Tú sabes,
Sí.
tira los pasos y eso. Entonces con la pareja le da su vuelta y la pone frente al tocador para que el tocador repique como ella baila. ¿Tú sabes? El viejo Facundo. Ese viejito tiraba pasos y regañaba al tocador. Sí, tú sabes, sí, que cuando él te da su paso, aquel tenía que marcarle, si no se, tú sabes, le daba coraje. Si no le marcaba los pasos que él daba, lo regañaba con el ese, tú sabes. Lo que pasa es que él, como que bailaba, yo no sé, en la punta del pie o algo, porque es que, y derecho, nada de eso como ahora que se ve que tuve que hacer mil mímicas y eso, no, él tiraba paso derecho. Lo de él era de los pies. Sí, lo que ella quiere decirle es que no se usaba el baile de ahora, que cogen la falda y la vuelan para arriba.
Arriba, sí.
¿No entiendes? Ellas no hacían eso. Ellas sí la sacudían.
La sacudían así.
Seguro, el bailador sacaba a la pareja, se iban frente a los tocadores, el bailador tiraba unos pasos delante de que repicaba, el que marcaba los pasos, y después ponía a la pareja a él a bailar, a marcar pasos frente al tocador. Pero el bailador es el primero que salía a bailar. Marcaba con la falda, hacía su juego con la falda y marcaba con sus pies también.
En ese tiempo la
¿Entiendes?
moda de las faldas de mujer siempre traía el volante y cosas bonitas, puntillitas y eso. Pues con eso era el que...
No, él se pone, como quien dice, a juguetear con el tambor, pero con ritmo, esperando porque el tocar de momento le puede salir con un paso, rap, y él lo tiene que repicar. ¿No entiendes? Tiene que estar pendiente al bailador.
Primero uno tiraba a la pareja al barril, al que repica, mientras ella se quedaba en el seguidor, y ahí pues ella también marcando, en lo que yo la metía al que repicaba. Todo es ahí, tranquilito y con calma. ¿Entiendes? De mi cabeza. Eso es lo más importante. Eso es lo que yo admiro, ¿verdad? La bomba de antes. Porque todo era ahí por la línea. Tranquilo, todo ahí, bien hecho. Y esa tranquilidad que los músicos y todo el mundo quedaban agradecidos. Mucho más que de dónde salió la bomba. No, la bomba salió de Mayagüez.
orgulloso yo me siento de mi música y cultura cada día más.
Orgulloso yo me siento de mi música y cultura cada día más.
Ay, cuando bailo, puedes verle mi forma de bailar. El orgullo que yo siento por mi bomba está brutal.
Orgulloso yo me siento de mi música y cultura cada día.
Ay, Rafael, bendíceme sabiduría para llevar tu legado como tú quisiste en vida.
Orgulloso.
Okay, I hope you're enjoying this more and more. If you could get the first slide on. Okay, you're really picking up on the dancing here. Bomba is a dance of extreme elegance, paused steps. One establishes a control and a communication with the prime drummer, doing figures and movement where the drummer establishes a tongue contact with the dancer and is able to follow through. Next video, please. Dancers who were skillful could get fancy, strong, and flashy, but without losing posture, elegance, and maintaining the essence of what makes this genre unique. And here, you are going to meet Don Felix, the person that took me from that rock music and brought me and taught me about who I am and the beauty of our culture. Tell him, Felix.
Bueno, saludo a todo el mundo. This is a very unique opportunity to be able to express some of the sentiments of how difficult Bomba was to bring it to the mainland. We were one at the time when I started in 1966. I went to Puerto Rico, was thoroughly impressed by the Media Ayala and the familia Cepeda, and giving me a lot of information that was very important. I wanted to represent Puerto Rico properly and doing productions in New York and dancing. However, it was a very difficult task because the undertone was that there was a denial of our African heritage as an essential part of our musical forms and dance forms. As a matter of fact, they would advertise the Lelo Live festivals in Puerto Rico, and the dancers they would use were dancing Catherine Dunham dance. And so most people in the mainland, the Puerto Ricans in the mainland, didn't know what real bomba was. So when I first came to New York, back to New York, and started dancing the real bomba, they mocked me and they really attacked me because they said that's not real bomba. So I had to revert to doing a stylized bomba like Catherine Dunham in order to just get it going. And it didn't take, and it took a very long time. We decided that we were going to go to the kids, like Angel did. His same strategy was, let's impress, go to schools, go to the libraries, do presentations there, and slowly get people to understand what the real bomba is like. And everywhere that I went, I would always mention that what you're seeing is not real bomba, is a stylized bomba, but the real bomba is from the Cepeda, the Ayala families, very distinctive, and it was something of beauty and much slower than what we have now. Music, the rhythms are supersonic speed, but it's about essences. It's about showing style, movement, grace, and that's where the influences of the Tainos comes in. That their dance style is similar in that they're doing figures as well. So the three cultures are amalgamated. They're very clear in bomba. And bomba was always a musical form that was also part of revolution in our culture. So I feel honored that I was a rebel all along and used bomba and bomba dance to reflect the freedom that we needed to have with all of our musical forms and dance forms. And I'm blessed that my cousin took up the gauntlet of dancing and performing bomba the correct way. We did a lot of workshops, toured the colleges and around the country, and wound up opening up a lot of opportunities for future bomba artists and stars, as well as blend artists. Because when I started my company, there were only two people. They had similar types of productions, and that was Primero de la 110, Montañés, y los primeros de la 110. And Teatro Otra Cosa, and Mano Fraterno de la Isardea. You know, and I encourage a lot of the cultural centers here to start looking into the value of bomba as a very important aspect of what our culture is. When I became the first consultant to the Connecticut Commission on the Arts, they sent me to Puerto Rico, and we planned how to bring about better representations of bomba here. With Ana Marta Morales, we did the Fiesta de la Isaldea, that became a big festival that was done yearly. With Centro de Cultura, we also wound up showing Bomba Sinfónica con Salsa that Angel was a part of, and we also wound up taking the Fiesta de la Isaldea to Connecticut, New Haven, Connecticut, and starting it there. So we did a lot of really interesting things. And 1975 was pretty much when things started changing. We were able to now do more traditional dance and representation of what the bomba was. That's when Angel came into the picture, and that he wound up seeing the bomba production of Francisco Arribi's Vejigantes, that we converted into a musical with the musical director being Henny Alvarez, who did Omi, with Larry Hollow. And we were able to put together things that really were substantive about the bomba. People were able to grasp on, and a lot of really important musicians came through my company that are now major artists. And as I said before, the primary one for me is that my cousin became a master in bomba, and I am honored by him.
You know that, yeah, Felix, you know that we worked many years, and we're still going at it right now. And this journey has not ended. Okay, right now we're gonna jump into the video with Agapito Soler. Just one little comment on that. It's this next video, it shows a pivotal moment, as Felix is mentioning. You know, for me, this video confirms the respect, passion, and the admiration I have had for this truly great elder, phenomenal human being, the late Don Agapito Soler. Dancing together was rare unless in competition, but here, under his invitation, I felt him passing the baton to me as a current maestro. I hope you enjoy. It's a short little video, but realize the dancing that's going on. Take it away. Yeah. And real quickly, I would like to just also thank Tata Cepeda because quite a few of these videos have been taken out of festivals that she has made along with all of us at that time. It was through the many storytelling with Don Rafael Cepeda, Don Agapito Soler, Don Miguel Flores, Don Ramon Alers, y Ario Ayalas, with the Ayala brothers from Loiza, my mother, Paula Romero, and other family elders, along with my investigations in the libraries and other resources, that I started to truly understand and appreciate our cultural diversity and its social events. Now you are going to see a video out of all this, and here you can also see Otoki as Don Agapito passing with me. Otoki, that since birth, and as he says, even before birth, was involved in this. Today he's a great master himself, teaching all the children from pre-kindergarten on and off, and doing a lot of heavy work from starting Puerto Rico and now in Seattle, Washington. This next video is my group performing in Florida, and shows how we are able to upkeep traditional bomba today. Taller de Bomba Balancé in Florida, and this is a performance from 2011. Yes, thank you. I hope you are enjoying this little by little. Different styles of dancing, different type of performance. Here, the whole group perform after or before the performance, and the literal meaning of balancer in English is balance, but I chose that name because of bomba. Balancer is a style of dancing, just like the song says, and a style of dance that looks like it defies balance while maintaining total control. In Puerto Rico, bomba served as an important means of communication and interaction within enslaved communities and later among their descendants. To the beat of the drums, these enslaved people of African and Taino, Múkaro has mentioned that, these chants relieve their anger, humiliation, and frustration related to their conditions. The music, dancing, and singing healed and reinvigorated their tired bodies and souls still to today. We are going through that. Felix, will you share your view of today's program?
This is a very important element that needs to be addressed constantly with what we've been able to do. I'm so proud and honored that you have taken on the gauntlet of doing these wonderful workshops all over the country, getting your son involved from mother's womb, I guess you could say. Yeah. He came out playing bomba, and it is so important for people to understand that we have to keep up our traditions, folklore, and to show people that we are rich in folk, we're rich in music, we're rich in dance, and that all of our dance forms are dance forms that people can really engage with each other. And that's why I started it here. And that's where Angel has taken it to a higher level. Look at the magnificence of all those drummers in his workshop being able to do that. And that's in Orlando, no?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's absolutely wonderful to see that happening. I constantly wanted people to see the kind of beauty that bomba is, dancing to the drum, explaining the drum, speaking to the drum with your movements is magnificent. It becomes a conversation between the dancer and the drummer. And they will get sometimes very feverish if you didn't do the right thing with the dancer. He would scold you. He'd just say, "Hey, wait a minute, this is the way that I want it." So
okay, you're gonna see this with Aristarco, phenomenal elderly person. He's the late Aristarco Alfonso and his late Mildred Alfonso, his daughter, his father and daughter performing here, and you're gonna know some real greatness and how bomba still survives regardless, whatever music, because here they're dancing to salsa, but the drums, they can't help themselves. We have the late also Juan Nadal in one of those drums, okay? You don't get to see him, but he's there. Let's show that video. Okay. Yes, we're running really short on time. So, now we are going to be jumping straight into a video with Cadencia. Cadencia is like a salsa group also from Virginia, I believe they are. Forgive me if it's wrong. And they used to do cultural music back in Puerto Rico in Mayagüez. So here we're going to go with a very spicy title. Do not take that drum away from me. No me quite el tambor. It's a musical video mixing a blend of different rhythms. Let's go to it.
A las costas de Boriquen llega un barco surcando las olas y amarrado ese barco con soga llega el esclavo de oscura piel.
Lo arrancaron del suelo materno, su familia la pierde también. Con fusil lo llevan al barco lejos de la tierra que lo vio nacer.
A las costas de Boriquen llega un barco surcando las olas y amarrado ese barco con soga llega el esclavo de oscura piel.
Su papá le hizo un regalo pa' que no olvide su proceder. Un tambor hecho con sus manos de un tronco de árbol cubierto con piel.
A las costas de Boriquen llega un barco surcando las olas y amarrado ese barco con soga llega el esclavo de oscura piel.
Pero un día cristianizarte después de tanto padecer. Presentan a Dios que nos ama y a fuerza de palos te hacen entender.
A las costas de Boriquen llega un barco surcando las olas y amarrado ese barco con soga llega el esclavo de oscura piel. No me quite el tambor, no me quite el tambor, no me quite el tambor, que me quita la vida. No me quite el tambor, no me quite el tambor, no me quite el tambor, que me quita la vida.
No me quite el tambor.
Okay. Thank you, Cadencia. We must be present in the lives of our young people with guidance and support in their growth as parents and community members. We must step up to our responsibilities to assure that our custom, traditions, way of life, and culture do not get lost in the multicultural society where our culture is different and considered less than the culture of the dominant society. Para adelante. Yeah, Múkaro. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. Gracias.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been an honor. I just, love to see that we're acknowledging all the influences here. Bomba takes place in the Batey, and you know where that word comes from. Batey is a Taino word where the aretos is traditionally held, right? The call and response. Same thing with Taino tradition. The Tequina says a line, the people say a line back. So many influences there, and I'm really happy that it was brought to light here.
Okay, we're going ahead with it, keeping it together.
Thank you.
I don't know if there's any other questions. Let's see.
Okay, yeah. We're short on time there, so we just hope you really enjoyed it and you've gotten some good education on this. This has been brought to you very sincerely from the heart from each one of us, from what we've learned, what our elders have passed on, and you're there to continue this going. Gracias, Boricua.
You're the future.
Respectful greetings. My name's Roberto Múkaro Borrero, and I'm the facilitator of JCal's Building Equity Project. I trust you enjoyed the previous program, and I invite you to check out all the other exciting programs featured in our Building Equity Through Art, Pulling from the Past to Shape Our Future multicultural event made possible by the New York Community Trust. All the Building Equity programs presented during this festival are dedicated to the memory of our dear departed colleague, Kevin Tarrant. You can learn more about Kevin and the Building Equity Project and programs by visiting the JCal website. While you're there, please consider supporting JCal's Black History Month programs with a donation. Thank you and happy holidays.